Parlez Français, leçon 3, niveau 1. In this lesson, you will find a sample of what we do in our small group classes. Basically, we focus on learning to speak French from the very first lesson, and this is your sample lesson, so you find out what it's like, and we do the same sort of thing at any level. If you want more information about our small group classes, register at the link below in the description. Here's the vocab you need for this lesson. Il y a, which means there is or there are. It's only the one in French and it's il y a. It's a set expression. Est, which is. You remember when we said c'est, it is, the C apostrophe was the it and the est is the is. Dans, which is in. Des, which means some. Interestingly, this is a word that you don't need in English, you skip it, but in French you have to put it in, and I'll show you some examples with des in there in a bit. La maison or une maison, which is the house or a house. Notice that the word house is feminine. In French, every object or person has a gender. For people it's easy. You know, women are feminine, males are masculine. For objects, it's really arbitrary, like une maison is a she. On the other hand, the garden is a he. Le jardin or un jardin, which is the garden or a garden. Le garage, un garage, which is the garage, a garage. Le chien, un chien, the dog, a dog. Le chat, un chat, the cat, a cat. La voiture, une voiture, the car, a car. La rue, une rue, the street, a street. And now for our first practice. I'll put the words you need at the bottom, as usual. First example, there is a cat in the house. Il y a, which is your there is. Un chat, which is a cat. Dans, in. The house, la maison. Il y a un chat dans la maison. Next example, there is a dog in the garden. Again, we'll take il y a. Un chien dans le jardin. Il y a un chien dans le jardin. And let's carry on. This time, to make it a little bit more difficult, I'm going to rely on your memory and only put the words I haven't used yet at the bottom. If you need to refer to the vocab, you could just take a screenshot of the vocabulary page and then use it for all your sentences if you really need them. There is a garage in the house. Il y a un garage dans la maison. Il y a un garage dans la maison. There is a car in the garage. Il y a une voiture dans le garage. Il y a une voiture dans le garage. And let's carry on and mix it up a little bit using things we learned in the previous lesson. If you need to refer to lesson 2 or 1, be my guest. There's nothing in the garage. just to refresh your memory, I've put nothing here at the bottom. Il y a rien dans le garage. Il y a rien dans le garage. Or, if you want to speak properly, il n'y a rien dans le garage. We tend to write il n'y a rien, but we tend to say il y a rien. It's just how we speak. There are some cars in the street. Okay, so this is a good example of some in use. In English, you don't say it. You say there's cars in the street. There's people in the street. In French, you have to put some in front. You can't have the word on its own with nothing in the front. It's just not possible. Therefore, it becomes il y a des voitures dans la rue. Il y a des voitures dans la rue. The des is the sum here. You can never ever say il y a voiture. That doesn't mean anything. For the next practice, let's have a look at the little word est, which means is. The dog is in the street. Le chien est dans la rue. Le chien est dans la rue. The garage is in the house. Le garage est dans la maison. Le garage est dans la maison. And let's do a bit more of that type of practice. Again, I'm going to use words I've used before, and I'll give you a reminder at the bottom. The car is in the garage. La voiture est dans le garage. La voiture est dans le garage. The dog is very clever. Le chien est très intelligent. Le chien est très intelligent. Remember, we link très intelligent. And let's do a bit more of that type of practice. The cat is very interesting. Le chat est très intéressant. Le chat est très intéressant. Again, we link here. Très intéressant. The cat is in the house. Le chat est dans la maison. Le chat est dans la maison. Now let's do a different type of practice. We'll practice the des, which means some, with petit and grand from the previous lesson, small and big. Petit is the default masculine form. When you're talking about something feminine, it becomes petite, because of course the adjective has to agree with the object that's been talked about or the person. Grand, feminine form, grande. All you do is you add an E on the end. Let me show you. In the street, there are some houses and some cars. Dans la rue, il y a des maisons et des voitures. As we've said before, the some is not needed in English, but it is in French. Dans la rue, il y a des maisons et des voitures. There are some small and some big houses. Now, before you attempt that sentence, remember that we're talking about houses here, which are feminine. Therefore, small and big refer to houses. They have to be used in the feminine form. Il y a des petites et des grandes maisons. Il y a des petites et des grandes maisons. Here you not only use the feminine, but you also use the plural because it's not just one house, it's several. So petit has an E for the feminine and an S for the plural. Same for grand. E for feminine, S for plural. You never hear the S though. This is a French rule. See an S at the end of a word, ignore it. Now again, let's go back to a previous lesson, quickly. I would like something in the house. Je voudrais quelque chose dans la maison. Je voudrais quelque chose dans la maison. I would like something in the car. Je voudrais quelque chose dans la voiture. Je voudrais quelque chose dans la voiture. And let's carry on with this. I would like something to eat in the garden. Je voudrais quelque chose à manger dans le jardin. Remember the à we had before? You can't say quelque chose manger. It really doesn't mean anything. Je voudrais quelque chose à manger dans le jardin. I would like something to do in the house. Same structure. Je voudrais quelque chose à faire dans la maison. Je voudrais quelque chose à faire dans la maison. And let's make it a tiny bit more complicated. There is something interesting on TV. And we did that in a previous lesson. There's something interesting on TV. Il y a quelque chose d'intéressant à la télé. Remember the de? As soon as you qualify the quelque chose, you have to have de there. And because intéressant starts with a vowel, you remove the E of de and put an apostrophe there. Quelque chose d'intéressant. It's easier to say than quelque chose de intéressant. There's nothing interesting to watch. Il y a rien d'intéressant à regarder. Il y a rien d'intéressant à regarder. And if you want to speak grammatically correctly, il n'y a rien d'intéressant à regarder. Let's do the last few examples. There's nothing to eat in the house. There is, il y a, nothing, rien, to eat, à manger, in the house, dans la maison. Il y a rien à manger dans la maison. Or il n'y a rien à manger dans la maison, to be really correct. I have nothing difficult to do in the garden. I have, which is j'ai, nothing difficult, rien de difficile, to do, à faire, in the garden, dans le jardin. J'ai rien de difficile à faire dans le jardin. Ou je n'ai rien de difficile à faire dans le jardin. And that's all for this lesson. Please give me a like if you've enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions. And subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any videos I put out.